नया साल और इस नए साल को शुरू करते हुए एक नई सीरीज आइशर प्रेजेंट्स नई सोच नए रास्ते अ ट्रांस इंडिया एक्सक्लूसिव। गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स एंड वेलकम टू आइशर प्रेजेंट्स नई सोच नए रास्ते एन एक्सक्लूसिव फीचर ऑन ट्रांस इंडिया। दोस्तों, जब हम बात करते हैं नई सोच और नए रास्तों की, क्या बात हो अगर ये रास्ते इंडिया से निकलते हैं राइट अप टू द यूएसए। Today we have with us a very special transporter, a female transporter, who joined her father's business in India and later on set up a logistics company in the US. This definitely is not an easy journey. There were challenges, but she fought them all. So here's welcoming our first guest on this very exclusive series. Eicher Motors presents Nayi Soch, Naye Raaste, and with us is Mukta Shah. You recently drove a truck at Eicher's test track. How was that experience?
It was really good. I mean, for the first time, I could experience how the drivers must be feeling while driving a truck. And before that, I had never driven a truck. Even though we have so many trucks in India as well as in US, I'd never driven a truck. So this was a very good experience for me.
लेकिन आप ट्रक में बैठे हो पहले? I mean, you have a huge fleet.
As a kid, I have always sat in a truck because my father used to drive a truck before. तो तभी मैं ट्रक में बैठती थी, देखती थी वो कैसे चलाते हैं करके. So yeah, I have always, मतलब I have sat in a truck before.
तो एज अ किड आपको ट्रक में उठा के रखा होगा ऊपर, राइट?
Yes, yes. मतलब एक पैर वो टायर पे, फिर एक पैर ऐसे ऐसे करके मैं चढ़ जाती थी, but then someone used to push me from behind. But then this was like पूरा खुद से करो, चला के भी देखो, so it was very good.
So now I think you'll go back to US and drive a truck there as well?
Yes, definitely. I'll try to drive one truck.
And
At least
then-
in the yard, at least.
Yes, and then you need to come back and tell us how Indian trucks can compete with the US trucks.
Yes. Once I drive that, I can tell you more about it. But of course, the engines over there are really powerful as compared to India.
Okay.
Yes. So there they have 15 liters of engine. And over here, I think the highest is 8 liters.
Okay, so that's quite a gap actually.
I don't know how different it is to drive a 15-liter engine and an 8-liter engine.
It's more power basically.
Yes. And also, but then the carrying capacity over there is only 30 metric tons for a 15-liter engine. Over here, it is more.
So what's the max capacity you carry there?
So we carry 30 metric tons.
Okay.
That is the maximum.
And overloading चलता है वहाँ पे जैसे यहाँ पे
No,
होता
not
है?
at all, not at all. Over here also it has like reduced a lot, I would say. And we never used to do overloading since the starting of our company. We never did that. So that ways we were always like rules के हिसाब से चलना है तो overloading नहीं करना.
So Mukta, how did your journey in the transport industry start?
So basically, first I was going to do a job after my MBA. So I did my MBA in 2015. So first I was like, I had applied for campus placements and I did get a job. And that was in Mumbai. So that time my mom was like, no, I'm not going to send you to Mumbai. So you have to search something over here. Then I was like, okay, fine, then I'll just join our own business, And when I joined it, it was not easy at all because being a owner's daughter is not easy. But it has its own challenges and pros and cons, both there are.
So what would be these pros and cons?
So basically, what I can say, the staff that is already there, they are used to the way your father works, So they have their own style of working. And even when you come in and you try to introduce a new thing, any kind of change is not accepted before, in first go. So yeah, that is, the staff was the main thing. But then later on, everyone was, always they were friendly, of course. But then after some time, it was like, okay, fine. They know that how I work. And now it's fine. So I started working. I started to learn from them first. And then I started working properly.
So you joined in which year?
I joined in 2015, just after completing my MBA.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your company, the background, when it started, how?
So it started like my father and my mom, they got married. And the family was like, it was an intercaste marriage. So the family was like, no, you cannot stay with us. So they gave one key of one truck to my father and they were like, you are on your own. So he started driving his own truck. That he did for 2-3 years, and then he opened a company. So no, I in 91, that was after their marriage, and then I think the company started in 99. The business started after 2-3 years, maybe in 93, 94, and then the company started in 99.
So Sri Hatkeshwara formally came into 1990.
Yes, in 1999.
Tell me, I mean, you've watched your father very closely. What traits did you pick up from him, and how are you different from him?
I would say I'm maybe 90% I'm my father only. Because since my childhood, I've seen him, how he works, how he handles situations, and he always used to talk about whatever has happened throughout the day. We used to talk about it at the dining table.
Okay.
Yes. Also, I've read this in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The parents who talk about whatever has happened throughout the day, including the finances or the situations that they have handled throughout the day on the dining table, the kids pick that up.
Oh.
And that is, I mean, I read the book afterwards, of course, but then this has been followed throughout in our family.
And how different are you from him? In what aspects?
The main aspect is that I would say, being a lady, I would not say just for me, but then being a lady in the transport industry, you have to have a lot of patience. Compared to a male person, I think females have to have a lot of patience, because handling any situation, you cannot raise your voice and do that, because once you raise your voice, your dignity has come down and the other person feels better. So I think that one thing is different. And also, when I joined the business, we had already crossed the 1,000 mark of trucks. So I had I would not say it was a burden on me, but I had a thought, I have to do something else or something more than what my father has done, because otherwise it is just sitting on whatever he has done. So that is how I found out about Select US, and then we started a business in the USA also.
So friends, after this very short break, we'll continue and hear from Mukta how she set up her business in the US. You are watching Eicher presents Nayi Soch, Naye Raaste, a Trans India exclusive feature.
कभी सोचा अगर किसी दिन सब कुछ रुक गया तो इन छोटी छोटी खुशियों पे लाइफ पे ब्रेक लग गया तो किसी ने तो जिम्मेदारी ली होगी कि सब स्मूथली चलता रहे। कोई ऐसा जो ऐसे स्टीयरिंग थामे हैं कि हम ना रुके। जो वक्त से आगे की सोच रखता हो, नए रास्ते बनाता हो। शुक्र है जिंदगी की ड्राइविंग सीट पे कोई तो बैठा है, क्योंकि जब हम चलेंगे तो दुनिया चलेगी। आइशर के साथ रहिए 24/7 कनेक्टेड, ताकि ना आपका बिजनेस रुके, ना लाइफ, नई सोच, नए रास्ते।
Welcome back to Eicher presents Nayi Soch, Naye Raaste, a Trans India exclusive feature. We are in conversation with Mukta Shah. So Mukta, moving from India to the US, how did this journey happen where you started SHCM Worldwide Inc.? Tell us about this journey.
So when I was doing my MBA, at that time I was doing my MBA internship with JK Tires, and that was in Dubai. So at that time, first time I got to know that, how big the tire market itself is throughout the world. So at that time itself, I was like, we should do something outside India. So after my internship, I came back to India and I asked my father, like, can we just start something new, but outside India? So he was like, right now in India, I'm okay, it's fine with me and I am happy with it. But if you want to start something outside India, I'll support you. So I was like, okay, fine. So I have to find it something. So 1 year passed by, I completed my MBA. And after that, I was just searching what I can do outside India. And I came across Select USA program, which was an initiative by Mr. Barack Obama, the then president of United States of America. Okay. So I applied for that. I did not tell anything to my parents that I'm applying for it. I applied for it. They had some 6-7 criteria through which we had to pass and get selected. And we did get selected. And we were one of the only 3 companies from logistics business that were selected all over the world to participate and invest in USA. So we got selected and I told my father, I had applied for this and we have got selected. So we need a US passport, US visa and passport, and we need to go to the US to attend this summit.
What was his reaction like?
He was like, when did you apply? And how did we get selected? So I told him everything and then he was like, okay, fine. So that time we applied for the visa. Until then we did not have US visa. We did not have a plan to travel. We were just traveling Europe till then. So we applied for the visa, we got the visa, everything happened. So in 2016, June of 2016, we went to the US, DC, the summit was to happen there. We had lunch with the Honorable President, Mr. Barack Obama at that time. And we had to give some presentations, like how we plan to do. So at that time, my father was like the main person of the company. So the face of the company. Still, he is the face of the company. But so he just said like in 4-5 lines, it was that we do not want anything free from you. We just want to be the highest. We just want to be in the highest tax paying slab in your country. That is only thing. And that was it. And that is how we started in the US. So we opened the company in 2017 and the actual operation started in 2018.
Okay. But tell me, what was the reaction of your mom like? I mean, she wouldn't allow you to go up to the nearest city, and here you're going to the farthest country.
US, she was like, oh God, you've applied for that and everything. But then now even she has got into the business in the US.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So she's like, now it's all okay now.
But tell me, what were the initial challenges you faced there? There is some insurance clause there. Yeah. Can you take us through that?
So basically, there's a survey that tells that almost 84 to 85% of the startup companies in transport industry in USA, they get shut down within 1 to 1.5 years of their starting. And the reason being is the insurance that is really high. And also if at all you buy any vehicles on loan, the loan is only for the work visa. Like for example, the first work visa that you get is for 3 years. And the loan will be only for 3 years. You have to repay the loan in 3 years. So also because the credit history is not there, the rate of interest that is charged is, I would say, 3 times what a normal person will get in USA. So that is a major challenge. One more survey says that the startup companies who survive till 4 years or maybe 5 years of from their starting the company, they get settled in that country. Okay. Yeah. So now we have completed almost 6 years over there. And you can say, yes, now we are well settled over there.
So what is your current fleet and what kind of operations are you into in the US?
So in US, we have a major contract with Purdue, which is a major food producing company in US. We have contracts with them for food grain and animal feed transportation from their facility to the facilities that they tell us to transport it. We also work for the ship unloading for Purdue, which is again, every 2 weeks the ship comes in and then you have to unload the material for them. We also have contracts with Amazon over there. Yes. So the food grains and the animal feed, we are hauling it in dump trailers as well as in hopper trailers. Okay. And right now the fleet size is around 26 tractors and around 80 trailers. So it's a hook and drop system which goes on over there. And right now we are operating on a 100 miles radius basis. So it's kind of a secondary transportation, you can say right now.
So, Mukta, any learnings or technology advancements which you have learned in US, you plan to get it back here and use in Sri Hatkeshwara?
So one of the technologies I would say is the way they put their tarpaulin. So over here, what the driver has to do is he has to actually tie the tarpaulin, and it's a difficult task to do that. In the US trucks, what we have, it's an automated thing. You just have to roll the bar and then it gets covered. Wonderful. So that is one of the technology I would love to get over here. Otherwise, India has a lot of technologies like GPS we have, dash cams we have. I mean, all the rest of the technologies are here. That is one I would like to get.
Mukta, coming back home, what's your current fleet like?
So right now we have around 800 trucks in India.
So tell me, managing 800 drivers vis-a-vis managing the drivers of US, what is the difference there?
It's the same actually. Drivers, you go anywhere in the world, it's the same. Because the situations that they go through are the same. It's only that the geography is different.
But aren't the facilities there better?
Yes, I would say the facilities over there are better. Maybe you can say the washrooms or the truck stops. Yes, they are really in a good situation over there in US. India needs to work on it, but I think in some parts of India, they are already doing that.
Okay. And any time restrictions of driving in the US as well? That's also there, right?
Yes. So it's like for a continuous drive, they cannot drive more than 4 to 5 hours. Okay. Yeah. And then within a day, they have to drive only for, I think it's around 10 to 12 hours. That's the time they can drive.
Since the time you joined your father's company until now, what changes have you brought into the company?
The major thing I would say, I mean not major, but then small changes, I would say first we did not have a website. So when I applied for Select USA, I mean there should be a website. So I created a website for us. So that was a small thing. Then we were already using a software. So that ways our company was way ahead of its time. Even in 2015, we had our own what you can say, the software that we were using. Only thing was that the business dynamics had changed, so we had to get in a new system and get a web-based system for. So that I got into a picture. And I mean, technology wise, as the technology is coming for like GPS or the dash cams, or you can say the eye alerts. I mean, we are using Ashok Leyland vehicles. So we have eye alerts in all our vehicles.
And how much is the data helping you?
Data is really helping us. I would say I can actually get to know where the driver is, what he is doing, how many trips he is doing within a month, and what is his overall performance, so we can actually categorize whether this driver is doing in a A category or B category kind of work. And also we get to know that whether our vehicles are what you can say, flying on the most efficient way. Sometimes what happens is you have vehicles, I mean that had happened in, I would say during the pandemic, everyone has faced that you have a large fleet size but you cannot utilize it to the most, So that is how technology is helping us. If at all a vehicle is not being used that much, then yeah, I mean we need to do something at our end. We tell the operations team, the sales team, and then they get into it.
Mukta, with 800 trucks, safety is always an issue. How are you handling that? Any kind of training that goes into your drivers, or in case of accidents, how do you support your drivers?
So in case, basically we have a full-fledged team that works on all this. As in for accidents and everything, our team is always ready. If at all anything happens, the team goes to the spot and then they help out the drivers. But as you said, safety is the most important. So we have made seat belts compulsory for all our drivers. If they're not wearing seat belts and if we get to know it, then we, again, we have to call them to the office and then tell them you have to do this and you have to do that. And also the fines that what you can say, the government is imposing on us, first 2-3 times we tell the drivers that these are the fines, maybe over speeding, which we don't allow. We have LPG tankers. For that again, BPCL has its own GPS tracking system. So those vehicles cannot go 50 plus speed. They have to ply on 50 plus. Night driving is not allowed. So all that even we follow, and we tell our drivers mostly, don't do the night driving. But what happens is, because of the no entries in different cities, sometimes they do have to drive at night, and even we cannot help that.
Absolutely. What about US? There, night driving is allowed there, right? I mean, there's no restriction there.
It's just about the hours of what you're driving, because what happens is they have this log, and that log goes to the government in the US. So if at all a driver has exceeded the driving limit, then the company gets the fine. The driver does not get the fine.
Mukta, since you joined the company to date, what changes have you seen in the industry overall?
I would say the major change is the payment cycles have gone up, which everyone will agree. So that is a major change. But I would say technology has changed everything. Earlier it was that we used to rely on whatever handwritten things we have, or whatever our software tells us. But nowadays the customers also tell, because they have their own portals. They tell us that you're driving, your driver is doing this at this time. The vehicle is not reach the place, or maybe some of the vehicles are not doing that efficiently. Even the customers tell us that, and that way even we can work. I mean, we work together with our customers to increase the efficiency, their efficiency as well as our efficiency. Before, I think they were not, I would say. But again, I would say that, even I was very young at that time. So everyone used to call me like, हाँ बच्चा है करके. But then nowadays, yes, I mean, all the customers, our vendors, everyone is being very, I think, open to a fact that, even ladies are there in the industry, and even they are handling some part of it.
So overall, I think there is a change in the scenario.
Yes. And also the ladies nowadays, they do know the business. It's not that I am just signing on something and okay, fine, this is done. That's not the case. Now, for example, as we earlier said, first time I drove a truck. So I got to know, what exactly the drivers are also feeling. So that is how, all the ladies in the industry, they're trying to understand what exactly is going on in the business, and then trying to get solutions, for any problems that they are facing.
But how is your, relation or equation with the drivers in the company? 800 trucks means many more drivers. How did you interact with them?
See, I would say direct interaction with the drivers is actually very less right now in India, because we do have a hierarchy of people in the organization who talk to the drivers. But sometimes whenever I go to our the workstation that we have in Loni, so at that time, whenever I get a chance to interact with the drivers, I do interact with the drivers, and they do tell us some problems, which they don't tell the regular staff with whom they are interacting. So that way, I think it helps communicating with the drivers.
Mukta, you recently got married. So how do you strike a balance, a transport company in India, a logistics company in the US, and then married life?
I would say as before marriage and after marriage, as my parents have always supported me in whatever I do, it's the same way my in-laws and my husband support me in whatever I do. They're like, we will handle everything at home. You be at office, you do everything. So that helps me a lot. And also again, because of the India and US business, I am actually working on 2 schedules. That is India, as well as you can say I'm working on both the time zones, you can say. So anytime at night also, if I get a call, I have to wake up.
So while you're here, who's taking care of the company there now?
So my father is the main person who takes care of the company over there. Also, my mother and my younger sister have joined the business. So my younger sister, right now my father is here in India. So my younger sister and my mom, they both of them are taking care of the business there. And I would say my younger sister is doing fantastic over there. She is handling the operations. She is handling the drivers. She is handling the maintenance. And she's
Amazing.
handling the customers. So she's doing amazing over there.
So, Mukta, where is your office in US?
So we are situated at the port of Baltimore in Maryland state, which is maybe just 40 minutes from Washington DC. It's on the East Coast.
So tell me, Mukta, where is it working easier, back in the US or here?
I would say both have pros and cons. Pros only, I would say. Why cons? Otherwise, we are working both in US and India. So here it is more easy, I would say, because the setup is there. And I mean, I don't have to check, you know, कि maintenance कैसा चल रहा है, कैसा. Everyone is in their place and they're doing really well. In US right now, because it's a startup and it's just been 5-6 years that we've started the company. So yes, there we need to work more hard over there. And otherwise, working conditions in both the countries are becoming similar, I would say. In the US, the best part over there is that you don't have any detention for any of the vehicles. Because the loading point and unloading point, there are appointments. If you go there within that appointment time, the vehicle gets loaded and unloaded in time. In India, that is not the case. So only the, loading, maybe it happens in time, but then unloading does not.
We will continue our interaction with Mukta after this very short break. You are watching Eicher presents Nayi Soch, Naye Raaste, an exclusive feature on Trans India.
एकदम टिप टॉप है सर है क्या
हाँ है ना ऑफिस में
कैसा है सर मैं कह रहा था हमारे जो 2 ट्रक है ना
पहले जाके हाथ धो के आ
सर मैं
हाथ धो के आ
सर मैं ये कह रहा था कि हमारे दोनों ट्रक चकाचक है
और मैं कह रहा हूं पहले बैठ जा बैठ जा पहले खाना खा लेते फिर काम की बात करते
बिजनेस तभी बढ़ेगा जब सोच बदलेगी। आयशर एचडी प्रो सीरीज, नया समय नई सोच।
Welcome back to Eicher presents Nayi Soch, Naye Raaste, an exclusive feature on Trans India, and we are talking to Mukta Shah. So, Mukta, have you picked up the US accent as yet?
Sometimes, yes.
Now, what is your growth plan in the US, and since you are talking now to the US media, what would your accent be to that answer?
Oh, well, I think this is an American accent that I'm talking right now. And our US plans for the future are that, yes, we will be increasing the vehicles over there, as well as we'll be diversifying the business into warehousing, which is right now only trucking.
Finally, Mukta, any message for the Indian women transporters who have already joined the business, or they are somewhat hesitant कि हम ये business join करें नहीं करें, women कैसे यहाँ पे होगी? Any message for them?
So yes, I would say that they should join the business in whichever capacity they can. And once they get to know the business, they can enter into the different departments that there are in the business. I mean, the ladies throughout the world have gone to the moon and come back. Then why can't we just join the transport business and flourish it, I would say.
And I think customers and OEMs, everybody is welcoming women transporters now.
I mean, there are many places where the OEMs and the customers, the leading person is a lady. In fact, Vasudata Cement, for which we work, Mrs. Manjushri Khaitan, she was leading the business. So, I mean, women everywhere they are. Ashok Leyland, in fact, has a plant which is led, I mean, all the workers in the plant are female workers. So, every field there are ladies.
That's it from us this week. You are watching Eicher Presents Nayi Soch, Naye Raaste. We will be back again next week with our regular episode and next month with another guest on Eicher Presents Nayi Soch, Naye Raaste. Until next week, stay safe and drive safe. Jai Hind.
In a world that doesn't stop, to lead, be always on the move. Define goals. Train hard. Build stamina. Use intelligence. Seek support. Keep going. Enjoy success. But hold non-stop. Higher power. Maximum uptime. My Eicher enabled 100% connected trucks.